Hey everybody, it's me, Dr. Amber. I'm back. Not that anybody was wondering where I've been, but I'm back. I'm back here on YouTube yet again because I'm trying to get my life together and I'm committed to doing this. So we're going to talk about that in a second. The purpose of this video is for me to just say, hey, show my face once more, check in with all of you here, and just give you an update and just kind of talk and chit chat like how we like to do about where I'm at and where things are going. So I'm structuring this video with past, present, and future because it's easier for me to remember that. But of course, I've got my little notebook here because we love a notebook. I refuse to pretend like I'm reading a teleprompter to talk to y'all. I've got my little pen and paper right here. So structuring it this way will allow me to get through all of my thoughts without making this video terribly long because it will not be edited. All right. We are not at the point yet where we are editing videos. Okay. We're going to get there, but we're not there yet. So anyway, let's talk about the past. No, first I want to say thank you. As of today, this day that I'm recording this video, I have 600 subscribers on my channel. And that is amazing to me, especially because I feel like I was flailing and flopping around last year when it came to YouTube. But 600 people is a lot of people. And I know we get real caught up in big numbers and big follower accounts and all of that. But if 600 people were lined outside my door right now, it would like wrap all the way around down the street and further. So I am really grateful that however you found me, however you made it here to this channel, however long you've been here, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for sticking with me and rocking with me as I try to figure out my path here, because it's been a journey, but we're here. So I just wanted to acknowledge and appreciate you if you are a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber and you want to be, click the button. Why not? Come join the party. So I wanted to make sure I got that out of the way and make sure that I acknowledged all of you for being here. So now let's talk about the past, present, and future so you can know what's been going on. Last year, starting in the winter of 2024, I bought my Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo. I was caught up in the hype. Everybody was talking about this little tiny camera. And I was like, I'm going to buy this little gadget. And this is going to be the thing that's going to help me re-engage with YouTube and like really blow the dust off of my channel and kind of start over there. And that's what I did. So I was so excited because it's so cute. I love this little camera so much. But I did that and I consulted with someone. She was offering like coaching sessions she's a YouTuber, on how to get your channel up and running. And you know what? No, backtrack. I had somebody with marketing help me clean up the channel and kind of archive a bunch of old videos because I've had this YouTube channel for well over 10 years. It's been a really long time. And it's just been like this hodgepodge of a variety of different videos. And I enjoy it, but I've never really been able to like master it. And so anyway, I consulted with someone after my marketing person got the channel kind of cleaned up and just overhauled a little bit. We changed the header, just did a little bit of remodeling. I had the consult to learn a little bit more about strategy and how to be more mindful about showing up here. And her name is Jen LaForge. I think I've mentioned her before in other videos. She just was like, Amber, you got it. You can do this. It's not rocket science. It's not, it's simple, but it's not easy is my thought. But she said, just do 10 videos of you sitting down, talking about what you know. And I didn't do that. I started with a batch of other videos. I was trying to be more educational and offering value and being helpful, which I love to do. But those videos did not land. They didn't feel truly authentic. I showed up as myself, yes, but I was talking real fast because I was trying to get through them because I still didn't have an editor. And I don't believe in sloppiness. I don't believe in jankiness. Okay. I like for things to be professional, to be clean and crisp and, And, so I was rushing through the videos because I didn't want to make them too long. And they weren't landing. And the feedback that she gave me was like, the videos where you are literally just like yourself and you're sitting there talking are the most resonant. So just be yourself, which Again, I knew that, but I didn't at the same time. So I took her advice. Well, I thought about it, but I just didn't pick the camera back up. Life got to doing its thing. 2025 was very, very ghetto. Okay, Rafael de la Ghetto. Last year was really hard for me. A lot of challenges, a lot of ups and downs, highs and lows, and life is like that just in general. But 2025 was especially exceptionally hard. And so, out of all of my other commitments, YouTube was the one that I had to put down. And that sucked to have to do that, but it's where I was. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my little transmitter here because I think it turned off and I don't want it to turn off. Sorry. There we go. Hopefully this is working still. Live and in color. Okay, we are 5 minutes in. I ain't starting over. I ain't cutting that part out. Y'all just gonna get it all. Anyway, so that was last year. And when I started thinking about this year and what I wanted to do differently, there's 7 different content channels that I currently have active. It's Substack, but Substack is a 2-in-1 because it's got my written post, then my podcast that I have on Substack. So that's 2. Then I've got my email newsletter. I have Instagram, Threads, and YouTube, obviously. And there's another one that I'm missing. But I'm LinkedIn. So that's 7. That's a lot, y'all. I don't care what nobody say, that's a lot. And you just can't be everywhere all at one time. And I don't endeavor to be everywhere all at once, but I do want to show up consistently. So when I thought about this year, I said, okay, how can I be more mindful about either recording videos in batches or writing content in batches, just to get to a place where I feel like I have a handle on how I want to show up in these different spaces and what these efforts are intended to do. What is the point of all of this? And you can have different relationships with different channels. LinkedIn could be more for my coaching work or speaking work. Instagram can just be more for me to connect with my friends on my private Instagram. That is the one platform that I feel like I've had the longest, that I've been the most consistent with. So I've got the largest kind of community there, if you will. But Instagram is just so terrible when it comes to the algorithm and suppressing content and people can't see. And I just did not want to get on that content treadmill. And Substack I've really enjoyed, which is how I ended up starting a podcast. I started that on a whim and I enjoyed that. And so I stuck with that. I did 12 episodes for my little micro podcast, I called it there, and my written posts and stuff like that. And so just trying to find my stride. And if you've watched any of the older videos that are on my channel, you might have heard me talk about how I'm really trying to fail out loud, if you will. Really let myself not just fail at things, but just try different things and not have everything be so rigid. And there's a video that I shared here about how I'm unlearning perfectionism. I think that's the one I talked about. That's the one I talked about this in. And I really wanted to be mindful of just letting go and not needing everything to be so perfect all the time, which is hard for somebody like me. It doesn't come naturally, but I'm unlearning that. And all the things that I just recapped for you and how just kind of disjointed it all, how disjointed it all felt. I just was like, well, this is how you figure it out. You show up. So that brings us to the present. So that was the past. What had happened was, now we're in the present. And in the present, I'm thinking about one of my favorite Cleo Soul songs is Promises. I wrote a letter to myself and it was full of promises. And a promise that I'm making to myself is to show up for myself and to step forward more fully and more bravely and more boldly and clearly into whatever it is that God has for me and the things that I also desire for myself. And ideally, you want those things to be synonymous, but they're not always. Anyway, so that to me translates into consistency and diligence, but in a non-pressure kind of way. being focused, being consistent, and being thoughtful and mindful about how I show up. That's why I'm back here once more. Okay, we are giving this yet another try. And there's another woman that I'm connected to. Her name is Zaylee Barclay. And so she has her whole business, her whole everything is about her work, is about helping people have confidence on video. She has cards about being brave on video, and just, you know, she's like a confident coach for people who want to make video content. Is what I think the best way I can summarize what she does. I've known her for years. She is so sweet. We, you know, connect over text sometimes, and she posts a lot of content about, like, she is the master at this. She's been teaching online and just doing creating content here on YouTube, and has an active and thriving YouTube channel for years. And so we engage a lot on Threads, and she always posts content about, you know, videos and cameras and what to do and what not to do and tips and all these suggestions. And I shouted her out recently, and I texted her and was like, girl, you're really killing it. Like, you're doing such a good job showing up as our go-to person for all things digital, video, camera, so forth. But you make it accessible, you're really friendly. And I'm like, if that is your goal, I want you to know that you're meeting it. And so that offered a little bit of an opportunity for us to talk a little bit more. And she was like, but Amber, like, you too, sis, like, don't give up on YouTube. We need you there. I want to see you post more there. So I made a commitment to her that I would post 2 videos a month for the first quarter of this year. So me saying that out loud is me now also holding myself accountable and making myself accountable to y'all. So 2 videos a month for the first quarter of the year. Then after that, I can pick up the pace if it works out. But I was like, you know what? Okay, I can do that. I can do 2 videos a month. And that's why we're here, because yesterday, or I don't know, 2 days ago, earlier this week, I did my first live stream on YouTube, and Zaylee, she suggested, she was like, if all else fails and you don't want to get into the editing game, just do a live stream, just to kind of build up the muscle of showing up there specifically on YouTube. I did it, got it all set up, selected a different mic, and didn't go back and do a second test for that mic. And so I posted it. I was like, I made my little thumbnail. I did all the things. One of my community members DM me on Instagram, was like, hey girl, like, your video don't have no sound. And I was like, huh, what do you mean? So I went back and I sat here and talked for 30 minutes with no sound. And I had to go and delete the video because no one, what can you do? And I just laughed about it, because I'm like, these things happen. And that old saying of mistakes are proof that you're trying. What do? It's mistakes are proof that you're trying. So in this season of me learning new things about myself and giving myself the permission to just do whatever feels right to me and try new things and not be afraid to fail at them, this is all part of that. So here in the present, I am going to keep that commitment. I'm going to do my best to 2 videos a month about whatever I want them to be. And I'm going to post them here and keep going, or do one recorded video and 1 live, or do 2 live. I don't know, but twice a month. So then me doing this video now is to still meet that intention, because in order for me not to have like back-to-back videos, I needed to do something this week. So this is how I am trying my best, even if it's imperfect, to show up for myself and be consistent. So we'll see what happens, because it is just the beginning of the year. This is still kind of quiet. The busiest quarter for me starts to my busy quarter ends up being like the spring. So that's when I end up traveling more and stuff for work, and it gets a little bit harder. But if I'm intentional about it now, I'll make the time, because we make the time for the things that are important to us. And I want to honor the fact that 600 of you as of today have subscribed to this channel and want to hang out with me and want to hear what I have to say. So I will figure some other things out along the way. I think I have struggled with, you know, is it a vlogging channel? Am I just sitting here talking and vlogging about my life? Or is it like a teaching channel, educational? Is it an extension of my coaching work? Like, what do I want this to be? And I was looking for that decision to be made up front, where I feel now that it'll come to me, and I won't know until I try. I won't know until I put more out here, till I say more and do more. So that is what I'm trying to do. Fun fact, Say More is the name of my Substack. So if you're on Substack, go find me there at Say More with Dr. Amber. And so that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here. And what's great about this moment in time and what has been also really encouraging to me was as soon as I made that decision, two different people in my community and in my network reached out to me. My friend Shaya and another community member named Sincera. I don't know if I should be saying their names, but anyway, I don't think they'll mind. They both reached out to me at different times, and they don't know each other, to say like, girl, the same thing I said to Zaylee, they said to me. Like, Shia was like, Amber, every time I, log on LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever, wherever I'm at, you're at. And it makes me so happy to see you being so consistent. And it's amazing how other people will see the way that you're showing up, and it's completely different from how you see yourself. Isn't that funny? And then the other woman was like, shout out to you for the way, like, you're such a master at being consistent with your branding. And even when you're rebranding and you're taking new paths, like, it still feels like you. And so I was so flattered and grateful to be seen by my peers and colleagues and community members and friends, and that they took the time to let me know that the work that I am doing is working and that it all matters. But sometimes it can feel like you're just talking out into the ether to everyone, nothing, no one. And so when someone comes back to you or takes the time to say, hey girl, I see you, you're doing it, you're killing it. I don't like to say killing it, because trying to be less, we're so violent in our language. Like pull the trigger, like all these things. I'm trying to be mindful of that. But anyway, you're doing great, sweetie. And so I was really grateful for that. And I want to kind of ride the wave of that and remember that I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. Okay. Last but not least, so talking about the future. I mean, I guess that kind of is it. We'll see what happens in the future with me committing to these 2 videos a month for the first quarter of this year. This one being the first one. Yay, we made it. And I think, like I said, it'll just be a hybrid of all of those things, because it's amazing what you can sit and talk about by yourself in front of a camera for however many minutes. Like, this video is already 17 minutes. I've been sitting here talking, even though I have my notes, but like, I can do this, y'all. I can do it. So I hope that you stick around. I love to talk about my life lessons, things that I've learned as a woman in her mid-40s who's been married a long time. I'm a mom. My kids, as of today, are 15 and 10. And, I've seen so much in my life, and I'm really grateful for all that I have overcome. And I like talking about that because I feel like, like Maya Angelou said, when you learn, teach. So that's just embedded into who I am, I think, as a person. So talking about what's going on with me and what's happening in my own life here, maybe it does end up just being a vlog channel. I don't know. Because there's other areas and places where I am doing more teaching on my podcast, which would be also the name of my Substack, which is Say More, I'm looking at that as conversations with my coaching clients in between sessions, those little pep talks that they might need between sessions. So, and also, if you don't know, I am an executive life coach. I'm a communication coach to executives and global teams. So I have been in the field of communication for 20 years. I've been teaching adult learners how to be more effective communicators for the majority of that time. Like, all of my adult life, basically, in one form or another, I've been teaching adult learners how to be better communicators. And I do that because I want you to find words well said for a life well lived. That's why this channel is called Words Well Said, because that's also the name of my company. And which is trademark, by the way. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the point of it. I want you to have better, happier, healthier, more nourishing relationships in your life, love, and business, period. And so much of that comes by way of how we communicate. So Say More is an outlet and a channel for me to support my clients who are high achieving public facing women on the brink of their next level, and some men too, but primarily women. And, I write just more heartfelt posts on Substack just for the sake of it. And we'll see what YouTube ends up being, but we've made it to the end of our time together today. We did it. We did it, Joe. So I promise I'm going to post this, just like I said, no edits, raw and in color. Hopefully you'll watch it and you'll make it to the end of me rambling and talking about a variety of different things. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.